So in this one, continuing to use our Pythagorean theorem to find the missing values, this time I don't have the hypotenuse, I have one of the legs. All right. And again, what students find most comfortable here is they always try to label the smaller leg as A and the larger leg as B. It doesn't matter, but we'll continue to do it that way because it just feels right when we're doing our Pythagorean theorem. And so as I look at this thing, I want to do leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So here I do 6 squared plus the next leg is B, so B squared equals hypotenuse squared, so 10 squared. All right. And now solving this is a little bit different because there's one extra step. I still simplify, so that's a 36. 10 squared is a 100. But now as I solve this thing, remember, whenever I'm solving equations, I always undo addition and subtraction first, then multiplication and division, and then I'll undo the exponent using the roots that we've just been using recently. So I'm going to undo that 36 by subtracting 36 from each side. And that gives me a 64. And now I can undo squaring by taking the square root. So I take the square root of each side, and I get B equals an 8. And so when I come back up here and I kind of think about this, it makes sense because when I look at the size of some of these angles, the biggest side is across from the biggest angle, the smallest side is across from the smallest angle, and the medium side is across from the medium-sized angle, okay? We still have that relationship within triangles, okay? If I look at the next one, same kind of thing. Notice I'm missing the shortest side this time, so I'm going to call it A. And now once again, I'm going to do my Pythagorean theorem. It's A squared. Sorry, I switched colors on us. So it's A squared plus B squared plus the other leg, which is 12 squared, equals the hypotenuse squared, 15 squared. And now once again, I simplify. So I square each of those numbers. And now from here, I do the same thing. It's the same steps. I always simplify. And now I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract the 144 from each side. And again, this is just kind of going back to our algebra skills where we undo addition with subtraction. So I subtract. And now to undo the square, to solve when I have something squared, I take the square root of each side. And so here I get A equals a 9. And so once again, coming back up here, just to make sure this makes sense. Well, if that's a 9, well, yeah, I expect that to be something like 9 because it's the shortest side and it's across from the shortest angle. The longest side, the hypotenuse, is across from the longest angle, okay? And we could always check this by plugging it back into our Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So you can always go back and check it.